Legal in kind of protection terms. There was a police station at the corner of Allison Street and Digbeth. There was another one in Mosley Street, sort of the other side of Digbeth, and then Steelhouse Lane as the main one. And they were the three stations that were most involved in law and order in this area. As for the gangs, they change over time, but Milk Street and Barn Street, which we'll be going across the top of, certainly had them at one time, different gangs. Another one based in Allison Street. Then there was another set across the other side of Digbeth, which is felt to be another territory. So Cheapside was another area with that route. No, yeah, still, absolutely, yeah, and another gang. Of course, if we went further along to Summer Lane and so on, there's another set there. But the ones around here, the ones that brush up against each other, are Milk Street, Barn Street, Allison Street, and so on. It was an area with a lot of pubs, a lot of tradition of heavy drinking. In 1 year, there was nearly 1,000 arrests for drunkenness in 1914, and that's after, just as it's becoming much more strict and restricted drinking hours. Pub on every corner, some of which survive, or in a very changed sense. The pubs are great because they, in a sense, they face two communities. They face that way as well as that way. It was mostly back-to-back houses, so courts of back-to-backs, which often worked as little micro-communities in themselves. You might have an entirely Irish court or an entirely Italian court, and they worked very well as like little units for living in, and packed people in very large numbers. Entirely lost all its back-to-backs now. One or two of us remember when the last ones went, when they cleaned up a couple of bushes and the whole wall fell down, and that was the end of the last one, I think. High mortality, poor attainment, poor educational provision in general, but that's not to say there weren't lots of jobs in the area. Huge numbers of little metalworks. That's typical. It's the most typical area of Birmingham's employment patterns. Little workshops, many of which now do car repairs and things like that, but many of them still survive. I'll just do one quick. My first incident of the Peaky Blinders. First one I've come across anyway. 1890.
Chris, could I just stop you just for a second? One question to ask. I
Yeah.
know I'm always into corruption, right? But one question to ask. I'm forever when I